Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Children's Church. I'm so glad to have you here with me. And for a while now, we've been talking about where are you? And today's answer is on top of the mountain. Today we're talking about the Big Ten, the 10 Commandments, and how Moses got them. So we're in the book of Exodus. That means we're in the way beginning of the Bible. We're a few books in. We're the second book in. Like to be correct when I talk to you guys. We're on the second book of the Bible, and we're in chapter 20. Oh, no, the 10 Commandments are in chapter 20. I'm going to read to you a little bit of chapter 19 for some context. In the third month, on the same day of the month that the Israelites had left the land of Egypt, they entered the wilderness of Sinai. After they departed from Rephidim, they entered the wilderness of Sinai and camped in the wilderness, and Israel camped in front of the mountain. Moses went up the mountain to God, and the Lord called to him from the mountain, "This is what you must say to the house of Jacob, and explain to the Israelites, you have seen what I did to the Egyptians, and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to me. Now you will listen carefully and keep my covenant, or my promise. You will be my own possessions out of all the peoples on the earth that is mine, and you will be my kingdom of priests and my holy nation. These are the words you are to say to them." After Moses came back, he summoned the elders of the people and set before them all that the Lord had commanded. Then the people responded together, "We will do all the Lord has spoken." And Moses brought the people's word back to the Lord. The Lord said, "I'm going to come to you in a dense cloud, so the people will hear me when I speak with you, and they will believe you." Then Moses reported the people's words to the Lord, and the Lord said to Moses, "Go to the people and consecrate them today and tomorrow. Wash their clothes and be prepared by the third day, for on the third day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people." Then God spoke these words, "I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the place of slavery. Do not have other gods beside me. Do not make an idol for yourself, whether in the shape of anything in the heavens above, or the earth below, or the waters underneath. You must not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for the father's sins, to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing faithful love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commands. Do not misuse the name of the Lord your God, because the Lord will not leave anyone unpunished who misuses his name. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. You are to labor 6 days and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath to the Lord your God. You must not do any work, you, your son or your daughter, your male or female servants, your livestock, or the foreigner who is within your gates. For the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea and everything in them in 6 days. Then he rested on the seventh. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and called it holy. Honor your father and mother, so you may live a long life in the land the Lord your God is appointing for you. Do not murder, do not commit adultery, do not steal, do not give false testimony against your neighbor, do not covet your neighbor's house, do not covet your neighbor's wife, his slaves, his ox, his donkey, or anything that belongs to him. All the people witnessed the thunder and lightning, the sound of the trumpet, and the mountains surrounded by smoke. When the people saw it, they trembled and stood at a distance. "You speak to us, and we will listen," they said to Moses, "but don't let God speak to us, or we will die." Moses responded to the people, "Don't be afraid, for God has come to test you, so you will fear him and not sin." And the people remained standing at a distance as Moses approached the thick darkness where God was. Then we have about 3 more chapters full of laws, but those are the Big 10. We call them the 10 Commandments. They're often represented like this on little stone tablets. This is paper, obviously. We're doing a scavenger hunt today. There's lots of interesting things about this. But one of the parts that stands out to me is the Israelites saw the 10 plagues. They were delivered out of Egypt. The Red Sea closed behind them, drowning Pharaoh's soldiers who were chasing them. But this is where they trembled in fear. And they were even afraid of Moses. Don't let God come near us because we are afraid. They were too afraid to look into the face of God. And they're not wrong, necessarily. But what we have that they didn't is Jesus. He's the bridge between us and the awesome power of God. He intercedes or goes to God for us, so we never have to be afraid to go to God. The commandments are important, but they're easy to follow when you're following Jesus. Because that still small voice we talked about last week, when God talks to us, it's all going to fall under what the 10 Commandments say, because that's behaving like Jesus behaved. So that's where we were this week. We were on top of Mount Sinai. Join us next week for when we're at the bottom of the mountain. I will see you then. Have a wonderful week. Oh, and happy Halloween. Bye.